Hello guys, today we have with us Akriti Mehta, who is a verification engineer at Ampere. Ampere Computing is a fabulous company which designs low power alternatives for GPUs used in AI servers. Hi ma'am, thank you for being with us in this podcast.
Hi, Manchu. How are you?
Doing great ma'am. How's your day been?
Okay. Great. It's great. Thank you.
Okay ma'am, so before starting, ma'am, can you please introduce yourself so that the audience can have an idea of what is coming?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Akriti. So I'm working as a verification engineer at Ampere's Pune office. With over 2 years of experience, I have worked on their key projects. I have a master's degree in IC Design Engineering from Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, and also a bachelor's degree in Electronics and Communication from Rajasthan Technical University. So I'm hoping to have an engaging conversation with you, Manchu.
Okay, ma'am. Most welcome, ma'am. Let's start, ma'am. Uh, let's start with your college life in BTech. You graduated in electronics and communication in 2018. So how was your
Right.
experience?
It was great because, firstly, electronics is not very popular at that time. And most of us had an electronics degree but opting for an IT job.
Yeah.
So electronics was not very much centric of anything. So at that time, if you want to get a core job, you have to do a lot of work. The most so yeah, that was really interesting for me. My college life was really good.
Okay. Yeah, that's true, ma'am. IT jobs, most people go, and this has been detrimental to the field of electronics. And
Right.
yeah, regarding your experience at BTech, ma'am. So what were your technical areas of interest? You can recall your face then.
Okay. So from the very beginning, digital electronic was my favorite subject.
Okay.
But it wasn't stretched throughout multiple semester. Communication was, so my focus little bit uh, went towards the communication domain. But then later at the fourth year when we were introduced to VLSI, I know this is it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that was quite I mean, a relatable answer. Uh, so I also
Mhm.
got interested in electronics, given that techie nature of the things there. Yeah, so you
Right.
were interested in communication. So was your BTech project also on communication?
No. It wasn't on communication. My BTech project, it was a major project which we have to do at the end of the fourth year. So
Yeah.
it was on embedded systems.
Okay, can you describe about that?
Sure. So it was a smart shoe for
Okay.
blind, so which was an alternate to the smart cane sticks. That
Uh,
that was a very popular project at that time.
okay.
To make it more interesting, so I have added that water sensitivity level filters in the shoes, and also I have added, like, as a backup energy, I have also added the piezoelectric crystals.
Okay, so the person wearing the shoe will know that of what kind of surface he is on.
Not exactly not exactly the kind of surface, but if water is nearby or if shoe is dipped in the water, and it
Okay.
has the ultrasonic sensor, so if you have any obstacle ahead, it will beep.
So you were properly interested in electronics. Yeah.
That's
So
right, I was.
yeah. So can you describe your experience from your second year? How you developed interest? Uh, you can.
Okay, so from the second year, I was introduced to digital electronics, and we had a digital electronics lab also. So I used to spend much of my time in that lab, but eventually we shifted to communication. And third year, it was little undecisive for me whether I want to go to IT, whether I want to pursue electronics. But by the fourth year, when I was actually introduced to VLSI and the Verilog coding,
Okay.
I
Okay.
started working on it.
Okay. Okay. So I believe digital Verilog is taught just after digital electronics, or it was.
No. For our curriculum, it was in the last year.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we were
So
introduced to it very late.
okay, but and then you inculcated interest there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, ma'am. So
right.
it was nice to know that. And with this, did you have any internship experience in BTech?
Yes, so I did an internship under Airport Authority of India, Jaipur branch.
Okay, ma'am.
So I was an
So that's
intern
really
in
good.
communication, navigation, and surveillance department.
Okay, ma'am. So what was your role there, ma'am?
Actually, it was much for the learning because you can't actually learn what they are doing. Like they had a very rigorous training, the officers there for 6 months. So you actually can't learn everything in the 2 months, and obviously you're not allowed to operate anything for obvious
Okay.
security reasons. So we were actually taught the basics, what they are doing. Then we used to have a lab where they used to show us that what actually we are doing. We were taken to the traffic controller tower, and
Okay.
we were made
Something from
like
the
we
communication
used to
domain.
sit there and observe. Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, ma'am.
Observe
So,
how air traffic is flowing, how they are regulating it.
okay, that's a really tense process. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. It was
Yeah, ma'am. So that was about your internship experience. Did this develop into a
right.
full-time offer, or you had placement experience?
No, no, it didn't. So it was just an internship, and for the placements, right? I ditched my college placements because there were no core companies.
Okay, you were properly interested and you wanted to go in the core company.
Right, right. So I ditched my college placements.
Okay, so how did you tread the years, like just after graduating, what all things you were deciding upon?
Okay, so I needed time to know what exactly I wanted with my career. I don't want to hastily go into IT because everyone else was doing it.
Uh,
So instead, I got into an electronics content creator role with
okay.
an organization based in Lucknow. So I used to write blogs for them, basically on electronics and VLSI. At the same time, I gave a couple of government exams, but honestly, I was not interested, but I
Okay,
had
can
to
you
give.
describe about
So
your writing experience?
yeah, so those were blogs. I don't know if that organization is still there or they have shut off. But
Okay.
it was a very great learning experience for me because I was very new to VLSI and they gave me an opportunity to learn and showcase it to everyone. So
Yes,
for
ma'am.
me, it was a great learning experience all in all.
So what kind of articles you wrote?
Basically on basics of electronics or the basics of VLSI, basics of Verilog coding, how we do it,
Yes,
what all
ma'am.
structure, syntax, just the basic articles we come across
Okay,
on
ma'am.
web.
So, okay, you graduated in 2018, and so how did your
Mhm.
next 2 years of life develop? Like it was article writing itself, blogging, or some other.
Mhm. Okay, so it was article writing, but at the same time, I was also upgrading myself through Coursera courses or even Udemy and YouTube were there. So I started learning VLSI all by myself. I'm a self-taught person when it comes to Verilog and the basics of VLSI.
So, what
And then eventually I
certifications?
know, sorry.
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay, so I knew like I need to do an MS after. At that time become very crucial for me for taking further life decisions, and I knew that I have to do some great degree, some bigger degree, if I want to get more knowledge in the domain.
Okay, ma'am. So, like, what kind of courses you did? Told about Verilog.
Yeah.
So
So
you did
if
Verilog
you
course,
rem
and yes,
so
ma'am.
if you remember, we have this NPTEL portal, and they
Yeah.
have lots and lots of courses, right? So NPTEL was my favorite, and I learned Verilog from I guess Professor Sen Gupta. If physical design, Verilog.
Indranil
So yes,
Gupta.
I started with it. Yes,
Yes, ma'am. He's a very famous professor for PD.
right.
Yeah, so NPTEL actually is a really good resource. Usually people are repelled from the course content there, but when we go into it, it's a very in-depth
Mm-hmm.
experience. And I have done one course, and I have experienced that
Mm-hmm.
it has the assignments especially kept me going with the course, and it developed my deep understanding.
Right, right. So it's like till this date, I follow NPTEL, and I'm also doing some of the courses even now.
Okay, ma'am. So that's really nice to know, ma'am. And yeah, so you decided that you wanted to do MS in the process of writing articles and doing these courses. So,
Right.
you knew that you needed a degree to get placed, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what MS options you were deciding upon? Which country? Like, how were you? Did you have a mentor at that time?
No, so first I didn't have a mentor, and that was the most difficult part because I have to choose everything by myself.
Okay.
And I was very sure in my mind that I don't want to relocate very far from India. So US and most of the Europe were out of picture. Now I had a couple of options, which were Hong Kong, Singapore, and like a little part of Europe. So I applied to those courses. I talked with the alumni. I talked with people studying there, and luckily I got offer from most of the universities.
We'll continue this discussion of MS in a bit, but before
Sure.
that, when you graduated from BTech, you opted out of placements. So, weren't your parents
Yes.
apprehensive?
No, they were very supportive.
Okay, that's a really a blessing, ma'am. Because people, for example, my parents, they expect that you'll do a job and a support. So, in your case, they wanted you for higher studies and your domain.
Yeah, so I actually told them like I'm very much interested in electronics. And they had this concern that we do have electronics here in India. Why don't you go for some 6 month training course or something like that? But I said, if I am spending 6 months on a course, why not spend 1 year and get a proper master's degree, which is like valid, like celebrated everywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was a really good answer to that. And yeah, so which country did you decide for your MS?
So it was on top, it was Singapore, then Hong
Okay.
Kong, and then it was Sweden.
Okay.
But
Any
due
reasons for
to,
Sweden, ma'am?
yeah, but Sweden, because they have like very good course in that particular domain.
Okay. So, what were the names of the degrees you were focusing on?
Okay, it was just IC design engineering on in all the three
Okay, IC
universities.
design engineering. I have seen computer engineering. These IC design courses labeled as computer engineering, electrical engineering. Yeah.
Exactly, but there it was like IC design. Now IC design, they don't include that fab part, like the
Ah,
fabrication.
yeah.
So that is explicitly excluded from the degree.
Okay. Okay. So you told that Singapore was on top, and then Hong Kong and Sweden was there. So ultimately, what
Hmm.
did you decide?
Then I had to consider all of the factors. I came to know that for the Singapore course, what they will do is they will take 3 weeks. They will stretch a subject up to 3 weeks, complete it in 3 weeks, and take an exam at the end of the week of the
Okay.
3 weeks, right?
Okay.
So if you are studying digital IC, you just need to focus on digital IC for 3 weeks, and after that you have to give an exam and pass the course. And then followed by it will, yeah, they will teach analog. So that was not something which is very clear in my head, and I was skeptical if I want to go into that course. And that's when I checked the curriculum for Hong Kong's university, and it was very clear to me, and I knew that I will learn something out of it.
What were the colleges in Singapore and Hong Kong?
Okay. So in Singapore, it's called TUM,
Okay,
TUM
Technical
NTU
University of
course,
Munich.
University of Munich, along with the Nanyang Technical University.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's a joint course.
Yes, ma'am. So
It's
that
quite popular actually.
yes, ma'am. Actually, I was exploring that option while seeing
Hmm.
where I can do. So it's a joint degree course. Yeah. And in Hong Kong,
Yeah,
you told about Hong Kong University of Science and Technology.
right, right. So
Okay.
yes, I had feedback with one of few of my friends, and they were actually studying that degree, and that was their feedback that you have to study it for 3 weeks, and then you have to give an exam. So you and there were no hands-on as such,
Okay.
as per those people. So I was a little less skeptical
So
about
you didn't
that course.
apply
That
there.
where I applied there, I got the offer.
Okay.
Okay, till the document verification, I responded to them, but I knew that if I'm not going to pursue anything here, I'm not going to waste any seats.
True, ma'am. That was really nice of you. So in the
Hmm.
application process, can you say about what the documents required? Usually students are
Uh,
not aware of this.
hmm.
Like me also in
Sure.
fourth year when I wanted to
Hmm.
go to, I explored about this. Like it took a bit
Right.
of hassle. So if you could share.
Sure. So for my university, Hong Kong University, it's very simple. You can read the website also, very straightforward. But to give you an overview, you need letter of recommendation, 2 letters from your professor, a strong statement of purpose, and your transcripts. And please make sure that if transcripts are written, you don't mistake it with report cards. Both are very different things, and I learned this during my process. So please
Okay.
be clear if you want to submit transcripts or report cards.
If you could share the difference, ma'am.
Okay, so in transcripts, you will get all the grades and you will also get some points there. I forgot the name, some credit points they call it. So few universities require those credit points, and those are the minimum conditions to get enrolled to a certain course. For example, if you are doing some math course and they want that you should have at least 2 credits in the basics of maths. So you should get it, like you should have it as a prior experience. Otherwise, they would want you to come to their university, do the basics of maths, get those 2 credit points, and then further enroll to maths in your masters.
Okay, okay, that was new to know. Like how it is different from
Right.
a normal mark sheet.
Mark sheet doesn't have any credit point.
Okay, so this the
It's just
difference.
have
Yes.
your marks and yeah.
Okay, so guys, we need transcripts, we need statement of purpose and a letter of recommendation. So regarding statement of purpose, ma'am, what is the core thing to be focused on an SOP?
So as per my understanding, it would be how you get into this particular thing and how you are evolving it.
Okay, how you get into this, but for
How
example, IC design, like I assume
yeah.
this is what you want to do in IC design.
Yes. So how did you get into IC design? How what you are doing right now to evolve it, to learn it?
Okay,
Are you
okay,
self-learning? Are you doing something on your own? These are these things get you the brownie points required.
okay, ma'am. So can you describe what all things did you write in your SOP?
Yeah. So I told them like how I was interested in digital electronics and how it shifted to communication. But after I'm introduced to this VLSI, how I gave my 2 years, I did this, I just did that, what
Okay,
all projects I did, what all things I have learned,
okay.
and
And
how
was
I'm
there a
perfect for them.
yeah, thanks, ma'am. Was there a section for a research proposal also because some universities ask?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. So you
They do have, but
included in
it's not
the
mandatory.
okay,
No, no, I didn't have any research project.
okay. So, yeah,
And
so basically our
my
experience.
course,
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
sorry, yeah, so my course was not research oriented.
Okay,
So it wasn't mandatory to add a research proposal. But they have another course for 2 years, which is research oriented masters, and there I think it's mandatory to attach a research project.
okay, ma'am, got it. So the SOP thing, it has to include your projects, your past experience, and how you were developing in the process. Yeah, and also I believe
Right.
why you want to do in this university.
Yeah, exactly. Why you want to do in university, and also if you go through some of the professors' web pages and read it and read the research they are doing and mention that in your SOP, that's also very helpful.
Okay, thanks for that, ma'am. And addition to that, universities often ask financial statements. Did your
Right.
universities ask?
Yes. So I was asked about the financial statement, and yeah, it was very straightforward. So most of the time it will be very straightforward. You have to just, if you are earning yourself, you have to give the checks photocopy, like
Mhm.
whatever medium they were asking, you have to upload it online or you have to send it. And if you are dependent on your parents, you have to share your parents' bank
Okay, so
statement.
was there a minimum
So
balance criteria that they did?
yes, yes. So each university has its own balance criteria, which you have to maintain in that particular bank account.
Okay, any categories for Hong Kong University, how much they wanted?
At that time, they wanted 20 lakhs.
Okay, so that balance need to be reflected in your financial statement.
Yeah, but actually, you can negotiate with them, and they will take care of that.
Okay, ma'am. So this is kind of a limiting factor for many students because students are talented,
Maybe.
but they have to show that yeah, I am capable of studying outside by myself. Yeah, so
Yeah, but
this needs
then
to be
in
kept
that
in mind.
case, students can opt for education loan.
Okay. So, okay, but
like
still,
most of the people.
they need to show that in their account. Yeah, this much.
Yeah, yeah, they have to show.
Okay, so guys, please keep in mind, apart from SOP and LORs, you need to have a financial statement. And I believe, ma'am, universities would want this because they want to be ensure that student won't become a liability in future.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, ma'am.
That's their point.
Okay, so this was you applied for masters at Hong Kong University in 2020, I believe.
Yes, 2020,
Okay,
early 2020.
and that time I believe COVID started.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
So that was very challenging thing on
Yes,
its
ma'am.
own.
So in
So
I can remember 2019 February, things started accelerating and people were celebrating. Students
uh,
especially, we got
yeah,
holidays, and then the situation aggravated,
right.
and uh, uh, and in 2020, yeah, it was full on. So at that year, you were applying. So you went after you got selected. You got selected eventually, and you
Yeah, I
applied,
got selected with.
and you
So
went there. So was there a factor of COVID being discussed?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So when I went there, the process was very tough while you're entering that country. Okay, you have to undergo 21 or 14 days quarantine, depending on what country you come from.
Okay.
Then again, you have to do a 7-day quarantine at your home or wherever you are staying. You have to do this daily self test for quarantine.
Okay.
And I believe like thrice in 21 days, you have to go to the hospital to, to get checked.
Okay, that was a really challenging thing. Yeah,
Very
ma'am. So
challenging.
how did you manage your classes? Were they online or they were physically conducted?
So initially they were physical, but after COVID, it swiftly changed into online, and we were asked to return to our homes if possible. So I came back to India. Now your I was partnered with someone who is just a continent away, literally, and collaborating them with on the research project was difficult because it was
Okay.
very recent for us
Okay,
to get
we'll
into
we'll
this
come to
online
that
mode.
discussion, ma'am, in detail in a bit time, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But just to get an
Okay.
idea of the timeline, you applied in
Mm-hmm.
2020, this period itself, March,
Early.
April.
No, 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 no. So I applied 2020 early,
Okay,
and within 3 months I got the letter, and after that I paid them the initial fee what was required and applied for the visa.
okay,
Mind you, the visa is sponsored by the university. We don't
okay.
have to
That
do
was nice.
anything. They will take care of it. Yeah, they will take care of it. And after 2 months, I believe, or within 2 months, I got the visa.
Okay, so after you are
Then
admitted, you need to
after
go for the visa.
I was, yes, once I confirm my seat, I pay the initial fees. They will ask me to fill the visa. Like it was not mandatory that I have to take visa through university, but it was very little hassle for me. Like I was saved from a big hassle. So I
Yeah, they're
opted it
giving a
via the
facility, then
university.
why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
after you applied in early January, 3 months for application, and
Mm-hmm.
then I believe in August you would have started.
September.
Okay, September. So September, I said, then how long the classes went on?
September to December mid. That was
Okay,
first semester.
okay,
February beginning to I say April end. That was the second semester.
okay. So first
And
semester,
May starting. Yeah, yeah.
you
So first semesters.
okay. What was the offline period you did?
It was the first semester.
Okay, so entire till December it was offline, and then COVID came, and you had to
Yes,
return back. Uh,
yes. Yeah, and it was vacations also. So basically, I came here for vacation, but
okay,
I decided to stay back.
okay. So the university arranged for online classes.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So can you describe your favorite subjects in MS?
Okay, so again, it would be digital IC design and embedded system, but we used to have very interesting course in the last semester where everyone was divided into teams and they were given a same design and you have to think it through. Now, in every session, every team has to present their own perspective on that same design. So it was quite a learning experience when many teams are presenting like same design with different perspectives.
Okay, so can you recall that topic?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to share it.
Oh, okay, okay. So that was a MS thesis, I believe.
Yes, you would say we don't have a thesis, so it's just like the main project. It's not a research coursework. So we
Okay.
used to have this particular project, which is widely accepted across the industry.
Mhm.
So it's just like to add an academic project into your
Okay, ma'am.
resume.
Okay, ma'am. So you did this while you came back to India.
Yes, I was
Okay.
in India at that time.
Yes, ma'am. I was checking the Hong Kong University's pictures online, and it has quite a good infrastructure. So, how was your experience
Right.
while you were in Hong Kong?
So very beautiful. The university is very beautiful, and it's on a beach.
Okay,
So
so
you can
okay,
think
it's a beach.
how good the view is. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay. So, can
it's
you
called
describe?
Clearwater.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you describe about
The
your
uni.
experience there?
Okay, so it was like all in all for university. Firstly, it's very beautiful, very beautiful, and also the professors are distinguished. And even despite being the leaders of their field, they are always there to help you. If
Hmm.
you need, if you have a silly doubt, you can just go and ask them, and they will explain you nicely.
Okay, ma'am.
And
Were
there
there any
is
language barriers
diversity.
that you faced?
Yes, yes, not in the university, but elsewhere.
Okay, outside when you went to travel and all, I
Yes,
assume.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
ma'am. How were the living expenses there? Like, were they affordable or you took a loan?
Okay, okay. So the cost of living is highest in the world.
Okay,
Yes, so rent is very expensive, but then there are suburb areas where you can rent, and it's not that expensive.
okay.
And if
Uh,
you talk about food,
hmm.
if you're vegetarian, it will be a headache. You have to cook it yourself. But again, there are some Indian localities where you can get your food from. And if you are eating non-veg, no problems.
Okay, I assume you were veg.
Yes, I'm veg.
Okay, ma'am. So that would be a challenging time there. And regarding
Exactly.
your expenses, did you get any scholarship from the university?
Yes. So I get scholarship from the university. They have this entrance scholarship where you have to fill it separately and you have to convince them actually why you deserve this scholarship.
Okay, apart from the
So
application
point two,
process, you have to fill
yes,
this
yes, yes.
scholarship form also.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so were
So
there
it was like you have to convince.
okay, the SOP thing there also.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Not, and you can't copy paste it.
Yes, ma'am, I get you. And regarding the scholarship itself, were it in the form of tuition fees or it was a stipend kind of thing?
Tuition fees. It was you can. It was like it. Your tuition fees can be reduced by this amount.
Okay, okay. So expenses you managed by yourself.
Yes, expenses I managed by myself. So even if I mean, apart from the rental areas around the university, they are not very expensive.
Mhm.
So those are actually fine. And if you are, most of them are sharing, so it's not that much expensive. And if you cook by yourself, it's pretty manageable.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So, moving on, ma'am. How did your life view and your and you as a person change after your masters? Although you came back to India, it was online mode.
Hmm.
But yeah, how did the opportunities change?
Okay, so the first point I want to highlight is the hindsight of doing MS in that particular university is the competition is very much. The environment is very competitive there. So at many times you have to cope up with the stress. And since it was 1 year course and they have like lots of coursework during that 1 year time.
Because your
So
MS was
after
in one
doing
year.
masters, yes. So it's basically based on UK's pattern where most of the masters are for 1 year.
Okay. Is that include any internship experience also?
No, 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 no. But if you want, you can do 40 hours internship per week during that time.
Okay, so did you opt for any? I believe no.
No, no,
Okay, ma'am. So after
because
your masters,
internship.
uh,
Mhm.
after your
Because
masters,
internship.
ma'am,
Please go ahead.
after your masters, ma'am, did you get any job opportunity?
At like here in India or at Hong Kong?
Yeah, ma'am. Since you came here, so yeah, you can describe the process. Were you able to access the
Okay.
companies there? Or-
Okay, so my interview process began with two companies in Hong Kong. One was the government's research institute called ASTRI, and another was Huawei.
okay,
And fortunately, I got offer letter from both the companies. But since it was very difficult to move there, so I kind of ditched that offer and I started interviewing here. So I was interviewed for Ampere. That was my first interview, and I got an offer letter. So few of my colleagues, like classmates, used to work there, and feedback was very positive. And also, as a person, I want to start from something which is very challenging. I know later in my life, later in my career, I can get into big firms, but this is the initial stage. This is the learning period, and I want to work hard here. So that's for the same reason I opted Ampere.
okay, ma'am. So we'll discuss about Ampere and regarding your ditching
Sure.
of the two offers there. I believe the difficulty arose from COVID.
Yeah, right. From COVID also, and sometime for Huawei, right?
Mm,
They were offering something. The position they were offering was very different from the job description.
okay,
So they want the position was for design verification engineer, but the job description or the role which they wanted was for the automation engineer.
okay. So these are very different, ma'am. And
Right.
we missed this point actually. After your masters, like
Hmm.
what specialization did you choose? Masters has a lot of subjects.
Right. Right. Yes. So for me, I was clear that I want to go into digital, and
Okay,
hence I ended up in design verification.
okay, ma'am. So your job role at Ampere was design verification.
Yes, my job role at Ampere is of design verification
Okay, ma'am.
engineer.
So can you describe the hiring process at Ampere?
Yeah, so first you have to apply it, and after that I immediately got the call from the HR,
It was through LinkedIn.
and they were basically no, it was a referral through referral.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
one of my friends used to work there. So after that, my interview process is very different from what is happening nowadays. So for me, it was back-to-back interviews. I remember it was 2.5 hours. All the cumulative, I had two interviews in that time.
okay, okay. So the role was verification itself, the job title.
Right,
Okay.
right, right,
So
right.
what all things did you prepare for that?
Firstly, it would be the basics of digital electronics and your computer architecture. So you
Okay,
have to
so
be
that.
thorough with both these subjects. Now, as a fresher, I recommend that be thorough with Verilog also.
Hmm.
And basics of system Verilog and know-how of UVM will be good. And also the C language.
Okay, ma'am.
Prepare that
So
well.
okay, ma'am. So we'll discuss with the Indian part of the